Hey guys, Mike in the Woods here. So, as you've seen on the channel, I've really been getting bolder and more hardcore with all of the backpacking trips I attempt on my eskate. And the more I go on these trips, the more I'm really starting to narrow in on some really useful gear that's worth the added bulk and weight in the pack. And so, well, for me specifically, that's an electric skateboard. This is also equally applicable for electric bicycles, electric unicycles, electric scooters, and whatever else have you. These things will save you time and prepare you for whatever kinds of crap this trip will throw at you. So a quick reminder to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let's take a look at what these things are. The first one is a book or something else to kill time. Electric rideables are great in that they do all the work for you, for the most part, and you can cover a lot of ground really quickly. The downside is that it adds a lot of time spent sitting around waiting for your board to charge. On a regular backpacking trip, you're at least hiking for most of the day, except for lunch and once you get to camp. But with electric rideables, you have half of your day dedicated to just sitting around, waiting for your batteries to fully charge for the next leg of your trip. That's just the trade-off of having your ride do all the hard work to get you from point A to point B. It can take hours for your batteries to charge. For example, from empty to full, my eskate batteries take about 3 hours. You can, of course, make lunch and dick around on social media, but you really need something specific to sink some time into while you wait. A good example is a book. On my 300-kilometer skatepacking trip, I brought a Jack Reacher book. It can also be something like a tablet, an e-reader, or even a Nintendo Switch if you're so inclined. I mean, it's not totally mandatory, and if you've got what you need on your phone, even that would suffice. Just make sure not to nuke your data cap. Number 2, a waterproof covering for your ride. Whether it's a tarp or just a contractor bag, something durable and waterproof that you can cover your ride to protect it from rainy weather will save you from frying the electronics from water damage. If your ride is naturally water resistant, great. Unfortunately, a lot of them, including mine, which is a DIY job, are not. Or even the ones that say they are not really. If rain blows in when you weren't expecting it, having a sheet or a tarp that you can quickly grab out of your pack and deploy over your ride can save you a premature end to your trip. It sucks having to suddenly stop and wait out the rain, but it beats having a $2,000 electric rideable suddenly become a very expensive paperweight. Back when I did my overnight skatepacking trip, it was a great peace of mind to me knowing I had my board covered under it while it was charging next door to my campsite. Number 3, replacement parts. Now, I'm not talking like an extra longboard deck or replacement tires. I mean stuff like drive belts, inner tubes, bearings, and pulleys. The small stuff that gets worn down from use and will eventually break or get severely degraded performance, and that usually doesn't take up a lot of space or weight in your pack. On belt drive electric skateboards, the belts are easily the most frequently replaced part, to the point where I'd almost consider them a consumable item. On my 300-kilometer skatepacking trip, I had both belts get ground up from all the gravel everywhere. One was almost torn right through and had to be swapped while I was charging. The gravel managed to get up and underneath my belt and ground out my pulleys too. You'd be surprised how quickly rural roads will beat the crap out of stuff like that. And so, having a set of spares to swap out as needed will keep you going. Inner tubes for bikes and EUCs and scooters if the tires are pneumatic, and stuff like belts, pulleys, and bearings for e-skates. Number 4, tools. So replacement parts are all fine and dandy, but obviously you also need the tools necessary to make the fix. This will vary based on what exactly it is that you're riding. If it's an electric skateboard, a skate tool is a good idea. You might need some Allen keys, a screwdriver, something to loosen hex nuts, etc. A multi-tool is a great piece of kit to have, as it often has many of the tools you might need, all in a compact setup. Personally, I carry the Leatherman Sidekick. And tools aren't just good for making on-the-fly repairs, but they're also good for maintenance. Rough roads full of gravel and dirt can cause all sorts of problems, such as with electric skateboards, loosening bolts from all the vibration. For me, at the end of a day of riding, I'll take my board and just do a once-over of all the bolts to tighten them up and make sure they have no play. Number 5, 1 charger per battery. Depending on the size of your battery, you could be waiting around for several hours for a full charge. If you're like me and have multiple batteries, doing one after the other will multiply the time spent charging and frankly just does not make any sense. In order to cut down on the charging time to the fastest possible time frame, bring 1 charger per battery so you can charge them all simultaneously, preferably fast chargers. With my board, each of my batteries takes 3 hours to charge from empty to full, and with only 1 charger, that would take me 9 hours to charge them all. With 3 chargers, it takes a third of the time. I mean, it adds weight and bulk, chargers aren't exactly light, but the time saved is absolutely worth it. More time making distance and less time with my thumb up my butt. Number 6, an outlet splitter. One of the problems that arises from the previous item is trying to source enough outlets to charge everything all at once. In addition to your ride's batteries, you might also need to charge the remote if it's an electric skateboard, your phone, your battery bank, and if you're like me, the batteries for all your filming gear. Originally, I had an entire power bar to deal with this, but I managed to find just a simple little outlet splitter at the dollar store. It's small, it's relatively light, and turns one outlet into 3. So I can charge all of my batteries at the same time off of one outlet. I could chain a second splitter on if I wanted, and then I could be able to charge everything in all of my kit off just one outlet. Number 7, an outlet tester. One of the most annoying things is spotting an outlet that you can charge at, digging all of your chargers out, plugging them in, and then experiencing massive letdown that there's no power to that outlet. If you're unlucky, you might get several outlets in a row like this before you finally find one that's in working order. Trust me, I've been there. Digging out your chargers and then having to put them back away again is a huge pain in the butt, so I picked up a small and lightweight outlet tester that I can just pull out of my pocket, quickly plug into the socket to see if it's got power or not. It takes all of a few seconds to plug in and check, and makes it far less stressful trying to find a place to charge up. So there, 7 things that are, in my opinion, some of the most important pieces of kit to bring while backpacking on an electric skateboard, bicycle, unicycle, scooter, or any other PEV. All the items in this list are permanent mainstays in my kit and will certainly be there on upcoming trips. If you're interested in stuff like the outlet tester or my multi-tool, I'll leave some Amazon affiliate links in the description. And if you've done or are interested in trying out your own backpacking trip on your ride, let me know in the comments. I love reading about other people's adventures. If you're new to the channel, I combine fun, futuristic technology with traditional outdoors experiences. Check out my other videos and consider subscribing if that's your thing. That's it for now, guys. I'll see you in the next one.